All right. I hope everyone can actually hear me. I'm just going to check my phone to make sure that the stream is actually live right now. Um, yep, we are live. All right, so I'm just going to put in the chat. Oops, what just happened? And then I'm just going to go to Twitter and tell everyone that we are live. All right, so for this particular streaming series, I think I'm going to be doing basically just going to build this game that was sort of viral during that time. So you basically have this WORDLE thing. I know most of you already know what WORDLE is. Essentially, there is a six-letter word that you're supposed to predict, and you have six guesses to actually predict this word. Every time you predict the word, the letters that you've predicted would actually give you some feedback. So, for example, green will tell you that the letter is in the word and it's also in the right position. Yellow will tell you that the letter is in the word but it's not in the right position, and this I don't know gray color will tell you that your word is just not right. Your letter, that particular letter, is just not right. That's what you are trying to build. But I'm going to be using Python and VS Code to do this, and I don't think that I'm going to be building a UI for this. It's just going to be some terminal based thing. So yeah, essentially that's it. And I'll also be integrating it in. I'll be putting the code that I've written onto GitHub. So we've got GitHub set up, and yeah. So um, if you are in the chat and you can hear me, I would appreciate it if you'd drop a comment or something so that I would know exactly if you are there or not. Okay, yes. So sketching, yeah, sketching, push and sketch here. All right, so here we go. Um, so I've got a folder set up here for our live build, and I'm basically just going to create a new folder here for WORDLE, and I'm going to open up this folder in VS Code, and yeah, that's open in VS Code, and they ask me if I trust the authors. Yes, I do. And I'm actually going to bump up the font size a bit so that everyone will be able to see what I'm doing over here. So yeah, go to code preferences settings, and I'm going to increase this font size to, let's say, 18, and I'm also going to increase the terminal font size to, like, let's say 15. I think that would do. So in here, yeah, right. So just going to open up the terminal and clear everything, and interesting. And then I'm just going to create a new Git repository here, sort of local repository. So do a Git init. Alright, so yeah, I need to also do all of this kind of things. Alright, but it has been initialized, and if I want to change the name of the the name of the master branch and all this. So using master as the name of the initial branch. This is the default branch name. Is subject to change. To configure the initial branch name to use in all blah blah blah. Git config this. Yeah, and well, most blah blah blah. I mean, I could do this later, but then if you do a git status right now, we know that yes, we are on the branch master, and we are not going to be using the new conversion, which is supposed to be using main. So for now, we're just going to stick with the branch master, and yeah. So in here, I actually don't know a lot of things about this. So yeah, we have to like do everything from scratch. I'm going to my GitHub and I'm going to create a new repository over here. I'll just call it WORDLE. Command line version of the word game WORDLE. I'm going to make it a public, yep, and I want a readme file. Yes, please add a git ignore. I want a Python one. And yeah, I'm just going to put in a license over there, the usual one, MIT license, and I'm going to just create this repository. But then this would set the default branch name as main, so I think I need to change that. Just going to create this repository here. So we've got like something created for us. I think I can just Google changing default, changing branch name, git. Yep, rename your branch, and it says that you can do that. Oops, lots of ads. So you can do a git branch -m and then you give it the new name, I believe. Yeah. So when you do a git branch, yeah, git status. Yeah, we're on master, and then we git branch. Hopefully this works. -m, and I'm going to give it the name main. And I think that has changed it. Git status. Yeah, now we're on branch main, right? So I have to add, the usual thing. You have to add this repository as your repository. So copy that. Then you come here and do git origin, add remote. It's remote add, I don't even know. Whichever of them work, they work. Alright, so sorry. Git remote add origin. I think that's it. Yep. Git status and git pull origin main. Yep. We've got everything set up here, so yes. I just pulled that. So sorry, I'm actually doing the thing without saying anything. And let me go to the chat before I start explaining what I'm doing. So basically what I have done right now is to create a Git repository on my GitHub. Then I also created another repository on my local, and I basically set the upstream of the local repository to the Git repository that I created on my GitHub page. And by doing that, I am able to commit my changes and push my changes to the cloud, to the remote repository essentially. So I've linked them now. So what I'm going to do next is to create a virtual environment for what I am actually working on. So creating a virtual environment, I'm actually using conda, but I think we can use conda and then prefix. Is it conda prefix? I don't know if I remember the actual command though. Conda creates -- prefix, and then you can do an environment name and then the Python version that we want to use. I'm going to use Python 3.10. I think this is the command. Yes, I believe. And that should create a virtual environment for us to work in essentially. Well, probably we might not need a virtual environment right now, but just like creating this right now, I mean, there isn't really a point to it. I think if I exit out of this shell and I open up a new one, VS Code should activate it for me. Oh, it didn't activate it. Doesn't really matter. But you can do conda activate dash env, and that should be activated. Python dash dash version, and we should get the latest version of Python that we are using inside that. And you can, I think you can do where Python to know where exactly the Python is, and we can see that it is inside the WORDLE folder that we just created in there. So I guess we are good to go then. All right. I don't want to also commit this. I think that's already here. Control F env. Yep. Yeah. The environment files have also been excluded. That's nice to know. All right. So I'm just going to like give some sort of should I say some sort of format for us to follow. So first, we should be able to understand how WORDLE works, and then is this even right? I think you can preview this, so I just make sure that I know what's happening here. Okay, obviously that's not what's right then. Is it like this or like this? Nah, it's like that. Maybe on GitHub it will show better. Don't really know. Thought it was supposed to produce a checkbox or something of the sort. Anyways, so we should understand how WORDLE works, and then we should understand how, I think we should be able to work with colors in our terminal. So printing colored words or letters in our terminal through Python. What else is there? Then we actually start, building the logic of the game. I think we fairly understand the logic that there are 6 guesses. There are 6 guesses, and then there are 6 letters. It's a 6-lettered word, 6 letters in a word, and we are supposed to like predict that particular word. So I'm going to create a file over here, maybe app.py, and then we can start working from there. So first of all, we could have something like a board, I don't know, and this is supposed to basically be a 2-dimensional array, and I'm basically just going to put in dashes for now. So like I'm going to put a dash here, and well, not 3 of them though, it should be more than that. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste this here. I think that's it. Okay, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, there should be another one. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to copy this, paste it 6 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have 6 rows and 6 columns in this particular thing, and that's our board. And then we can print out our board, or better still, let's create a function for displaying board. I'm actually like using GitHub Copilot. Yeah, GitHub Copilot, and it's able to like define these things for me. But then I could get write a comment from a comment here, function to print board. So you define print board, and then you give it the board, and then it should give you like for row in board, it should print the row, that kind of thing. And if I save this and then come and do Python app.py, all right, I didn't call the function. Sorry. Right, so I'm basically just going to call the function over here. So print board, and I'm going to pass in the board over here. Save that, clear the terminal, and run the file, and then we've basically got our board over here. So there would be some word that we'll be working with. So starting, I would like to like basically just put some word over here. Maybe should I call it what 6-letter word is there? Do I even know? Father. That's 6. Yep. And for, let's just make everything small letters just to help. So like we have father over there. So that's the word we are trying to predict right now. But then we should be able to print colors in, the terminal, and that's the next thing that we should start working on. But before then, let me just check the chat. I don't really have a lot of people here. Anyway, okay, so printing colored words or letters in Python. I believe it's possible. So apparently we can use this thing called colorama, however you want to call it, and it's supposed to help us print the thing in colors. Wow. Oh, and it's a built-in module, so that should be easy to use. Alright, so we can use it to do things like this. I think we are going to use that then. Don't really know how to use it though. But I'm supposed to do pip install Colorama. Let me see if it's actually there. Let me just try and import it and see if it's actually there. So import color. And then you do what? Do you even do that? I don't even know if it's possible though. But let me just do a pip install Colorama then. Pip install Colorama. However it is called. And now we are good to go. I think it's now installed. And how to use it is the problem now. Blah blah blah. So the thing is that I didn't want to like research on all of this before I actually start, so that it wouldn't be as though I already know what I am doing. It's kind of like I want to be able to do the thing as we are, how do I say it? I want to be able to do it as we are actually like, I want to be able to build it and build it live like this without actually like having to know what I'm doing or anything. So I have to like do the googling and all of that. But in any case, I think we can pause on the color for now. I am going to try and like create a logic for the game. So we have a word here, father, and then we have a board, right? And then we have to allow the user to actually input something. So what I'm going to do is to define a function for starting the game or something. So define start game, and that is supposed to be a function that's supposed to help us start a game, right? And GitLab Copilot is trying to give me some things over here. So when I start a game, what I want the program to do is to print board first. So print the board to the user. So we pass in the board over there and then allow them to actually like print the board there. Then after printing the board, would this even work? Let me just call start game there and see what's happening. Let me remove this, and here we go. Save that and clear terminal. If you can't hear anything, just let me know, like say it in the comment section, and then we'll see what's up. Let me see. I have to actually be checking the comments and what is going on. Alright, I'm going to remove these for now. Alright, so I've got a function here for starting the game, and then that should print out the board. Now after the board is printed, I'll probably tell the user that he has a certain number of trials or something. But then first I have to actually like take input from the user. So what I'm going to do is to basically, I don't know if I should start using like functions for every single thing, but well, it wouldn't be bad to actually start using function for everything. So like let me just define a function over here for no reason. I'm defining a function for getting a guess from the user, and there should be guess a word. So guess equals guess a word, and then we are basically like returning the guess for the user, and then I am going to get the guess from the user whenever the game starts. So I'm going to print the board, get a guess from the user. I think I'm going to put \n here, or let me just put it here. So before that, I'm going to add another print line here so that it will just like move to the next line, and then I have something like this. So after starting the game, I get a word from the user. So let's say this is my word. I get that word, and what do I do with that word? So this actually gives the guess here like this. But then first thing we need to check is that I think I'm going to create another function for handling. So maybe handle guess or something, and then I'm going to pass in the guess over there. But then I need to define this function somewhere, so I'm going to define a function for handle guess. We'll probably need a lot of cleanup to do. Oops. Handle guess, and we'll take the guess and the board as an argument, and then after taking that, we'll just say that if length of guess is not equal to 6, right? So we are expecting the thing to be 6. If the length of guess is not equal to 6, print invalid guess and return false. Is that really necessary? I'm basically just going to return this so that we'll just get out of that, right? Now, so we are assuming that the length of the guess is now equal to 6. Now, if the length of the guess is equal to 6, we want to actually check it against this, right? So, under normal circumstances, we'll just say that if guess is equal to word, you win, and then you return. That's what you are going to do right now. But then that's probably like not the actual ideal situation of the game. So, like right now, if I do this and I type in father, it says what? Argument board is accepted as here. Sure, I need to pass board here, and we clear this, and we go again. Right. So if I guess father right now, it says that I win, right? I mean, that's not how WORDLE is supposed to work. It's supposed to be that if I guess the wrong word, it tells me that these are the particular words that are there, and then these are the ones that are not there, that kind of thing. So here's what I'm going to do. When the user guesses the word, right? When the user guesses the word, I'm going to split the word. So so I'll just have something like this: guess array equals guess dot split, and I'm supposed to split it like that, just on the I guess I should do a guess dot trim before I do a guess dot split, so that just in case there's a trailing space somewhere, it wouldn't really affect anything. So currently we have like an array of all the letters in the guess, right? And what I'm supposed to do is like correct word array equals word yeah, that should work. Word dot split, and yeah, so we have two things over here. I think I can print this out to the user to correct. I mean, just printing out to see what's exactly is happening. And just by the way, this stream is actually going to end in like 45 minutes. Like that's when I'll go offline. So like it's not going to be a one-day build thing. So like we would actually take our time and build a thing, right? So this goes right. to get a word. Let's say hello. What does it say now? It says that what? Empty separator. Oh right, I'm not actually supposed to do this. Just do a split. Right. Hello with a Q. What did I say again? Oh, it's supposed to be strip rather instead of trim. I guess that has to do with using a lot of JavaScript. Sorry. Alright, hello, Q. Alright, so something sensible happened. But this is not what we want, right? This is definitely not what we wanted. So I guess we'd have to find another way of actually splitting this. I mean, we want to actually get every letter in there, not to like just split it out like this. So I guess I don't know if we should use a for loop to do that, but I think we can actually research that easily. I don't want to like have to think about it. So splitting a word into its letters, Python, and let's see. Oh, you could actually just use a list. Oh, that's nice. So instead of actually doing all of this, let's just say that this is equal to list of guess, and this will be equal to list of word. I think we're good to go now. Clear this, run again, and we start again. Hello with a Q. Alright, so we have something sensible to work with. Nice. So, I mean, at this point that we have the correct word array and then a guess array, we know that they would have the same length for sure, and then it will actually be 6, like a length of 6. You have a length of 6. So what we are going to do is to basically be comparing each position one by one to see if it's actually there. If like they correspond, if that's the right letter for that position. If it's the right letter for that position, I'll leave it over there. So what I'm trying to do is that if the person guesses the first time, I'm going to replace this particular place with that particular letter, like the letter that's supposed to be there. If it's the right letter and it is supposed to be there, I'm going to leave it at that position. If it is the wrong letter, or if it is not supposed to be there, basically just not going to do anything over there. So what I'm going to do is that I'm also going to create a variable over here, number of trials left, or trials left, attempts. Let me use attempts. I think that's better. Is that even how to spell attempts? Attempts equals 0. Start from 0. Right. So I am going to put a while loop over here. So while attempt is less than I think we'll go with it's less than 6. So from 0 to 5, we want to continue getting the guess and handling a guess, essentially. So we have something like this. Let me write in some comments to actually make everything sensible. So this is the main game starting point. Displaying initial empty board. And I think this is supposed to return a new board or something. Yeah, because you are passing the board over here, or we should just make changes to the actual board. Yeah, you know what? Let's just make changes to the actual board. Let's not pass the board over here. So there is nothing like a board there. You're not expecting a board here. And then I think the print board should also just like print the board. We don't need to like pass an argument over there. And so after displaying the initial board, ask the user for a guess. As long as they have attempts left, and then we get a guess, and then we handle the guess. So we don't need to even return new board over here. We just basically need to like handle the guess. The guess will make changes to the board, and then we print the board again. Now, how we actually handle the guess is the thing. So I'm saying that if the guess is not like 6 letters, you should basically just do this, and you should basically just say that invalid guess, and then probably give the user another chance again. So in here we have something like that. Now, if it's actually equal to 6, if the length of the guess is actually equal to 6, I'm going to get the correct word array. That's from the word, and then I'm going to get I shouldn't be creating this every time. I think I should actually just put this at the top as a constant. Alright, so we have something like this. Alright, so for no, what is this? For I in range since if guess else. Somehow I have a feeling this is actually the correct thing. I mean, GitHub Copilot likes doing lots of things. Let's see. If I in range this, if the letter at that position from like the guessed word is equal to the actual position, then we should change the board. We should change the board's location. I think, you know what? Let's just write it ourselves. So for index in range 6, right? In this particular case, what we are going to do is that if the guess array, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. If the guess array, if the letter at that index of the guess array is equal to the correct word array taking that index, then what we want to do is to make sure that board attempts index is set that to that. So essentially what I'm doing is that if I think I should actually use something to demonstrate this, because it seems that is there a drawing something on, I'm not sure. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that if I take this array from the user, so for example, if I take father from the user, what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare this location to this. So the letter here will be compared to the letter here. If the letter here is equal to the letter here, then I am basically just going to go into the board and then replace that position with that particular letter. Else I don't want to do anything anyway. But then after doing all of this, I am going to do an attempt plus equals 1 rather. So I'm going to increase the attempts by 1, which means that now the person has done like 2 attempts already, that kind of thing. Now if so now after doing all of this, if what I'm going to do is that I'm going to check if the word is actually the right word and that kind of thing. But I'm not going to check it this way. I want to check it using the board. So I'll do if board, and then I'll put an attempt here is equal to correct word array. If you want to print, you win and return, and I'm actually going to move this down here a bit. Yeah, that should make sense, because we don't want to like increase the attempts unless we're actually done with what we are doing. So I don't know if this would work, but let's see. So I'm running it. I'm going to give something like hello. It says invalid guess. Yes, that's not true. Hello with a Q. lots of errors. It says what? Unbound local error, local variable attempts reference before assignment. Yeah, right. I think this should work so that we know that it's different and bound. It might still give an error though. Who knows? Yep, it will. I think I should just use the global thing. Yeah. So like I'm adding a global flag here saying that I'm referring to that particular one over there. But how come the board works, but that doesn't work? Interesting. So I'm referring to the global one there, and I think I need to also, no, I don't need to do it there. And I think that's it. Let's try again and see. Hello, with a Q. But it didn't say anything, did it? What happens if I keep doing it? Oh, it's not up to. Hello, with a Q. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, it's supposed to stop at some point. Yes, it stopped. But anyway, we need to actually give more information to the user, and then we need to actually find a way of actually doing the work. I don't know. Let me see what's happening here. Okay, I'm going to do something. I'm going to, before I display the board, any ideas what we should do next? All right, I'll add a link to the repo after. Yeah, I'll add a link to the repo to the description after we are done. Right. Not the best logic ever. Let's start thinking. Anyway, so function to print the board, getting a guess from the user, handling the guess. I think that's where all the problems are. Right. This is the only time that we actually print something to the user. Let's also print something. After doing everything, let's print out something. So what I'm going to do is that how do you know that that's the actual board that you are on? That's the actual row that you are on. I think I should find a way of showing that when I'm printing the board. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do for index in range 6. I mean, yes. But then if index is equal to attempts, if index is equal to attempts that we are on, I want to print not just the board, but something before the board at that location. So something like maybe an F string here. So I want to print like this particular sign before that board so that we know that that's the particular one we are on. I think that would be better. And I think I need to actually exit out of this. Python app.py. Oh, else we should actually just print the board. Sorry. Right. Control C, we clear that, and we go again. Right. Okay, so now we know that you're on this, right? You know, I want it to be aligned in a bit. Let's cheat. Let's cheat the system by doing something like this. Either that or yeah, I think something like this should work. Right. Yes. So now we know that we are on this. If I guess a word and it's not correct, so if I guess, let's say hello, so it moves to the second one. If I guess something like QWERTY, it moves to the third one. Then I know that I'm on that. Right? Yeah. Then you know that we are on the last one. Second attempt, third attempt, fourth attempt, and then you basically like know that you are done. Alright, so yes, I think that's a better way of displaying the board. And now let's try a word that has F from the beginning. So I mean, this wouldn't even check if it's a word or not. So let's have something like fish. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then IN without a G. That's 6. Right. So you see that the F stays there, the H stays there, and then the rest don't get filled up. So the person knows that this is the value that I'm supposed to put there. This is supposed to have F. This is supposed to have an H, and all of that. So instead of using colors, for now we are removing the parts where we say that this one is part, but then it's not at the right position. That particular feature has not been implemented yet. But then I think an easier way to do that would be to basically just say that you can also have a for loop over here. And I think we can use the same for loop actually. Okay, I think GitHub Copilot is actually disturbing me. So if the guess array if the number at that index of the guess array is in the correct word array, then we can print that using an F string, maybe that particular guess, that particular letter inside the guess array is in the word. Yeah. So if it's in the word but not I think the best thing we can do is to do an else over here. So if they are not equal, but so it's an else if. It's not else if, it's elif. Yep. Then we print this. It's in the word, but wrong position. Yeah. Right. That's what we want. That's exactly what we want. So, we have some kind of half-working sort of WORDLE game available right now. I mean, this is like the worst you can ever get. But still, we will improve it in our next stream or something. I can see that it is 6:46 right now, which means it's past the 45 minutes cap that I've given. But then let's just run the app again and see what we have here. So we know that the word is father. If I were to type in father directly, it says I win, but it doesn't stop the game, does it? It doesn't stop the game. So what we are supposed to do is that if it says I win, I should probably do something. So if I win, I should return a true or something. Yes, return true. And then if So if handle guess returns true, then we should probably not yeah, I think we can do that. If this returns a true statement, then we should break. I mean, if it returns a true statement, we want to actually print the board, then we break. So this, okay. So 1 should be equal to this, and if 1, we break. GitHub Copilot is worrying me. Maybe, you see, I mean, it's good in some cases, but then in some cases, it's just like literally worrying me. So we go again, we try writing further, and it breaks. So he puts in the father over there, and it says that you won, and then it breaks, right? So we've got some sort of like working version of Wordle down. I mean, this is not the best you get. I mean, it could be worse though, but then this is like the best you could ever get. And I would actually continue the strip because I want to make the game better. This is like a backbone of everything that we want to build. I mean, we have to like add the coloring and everything to it, the colorama thing to it, I think. So guys, basically that's it. If you did enjoy the video, you know what to do. I'll basically like see you guys in the next one. But then before that, let me check the messages. Well, nothing available right now. So essentially, that's it. I'm ending the stream now. Hopefully you enjoyed what happened here. Cheers.